Good morning. As we get here to late June, we've got a busy day today. It's supposed to hit about 103 to 105 degrees today, so we're running around getting all the animals prepped so they can handle the heat. Come on, we got a lot to do. First up this morning is getting the broilers let out. Just got their netting moved. They're out of their cage. We need to fill their water. Got their food poured out. Out of all the animals, the broilers are probably the animals I worry the most about with heat, just because they're not very tough birds and heat stress can be a problem. So we need to move their cage here. You can see the impact they put down. So we'll get them set up with water. Have to check them several times today, make sure they don't run out of it. These guys are right at 5 weeks old, so we got a couple more weeks with them. Starting to look good. Next up is moving the sheep and letting our bottle calves out. Just set up a new paddock for them. Got some good long grass here. Figured it'd be good for them to be in the tall stuff today. We'll move the sheep or the dogs' hay trailer over there. We actually got a hay trailer for shade. I got tired of using the bales of straw, as you can see right out there. Figured this is a little more airy and a lot easier to move, so we'll let these guys out, get them moving, move their sheep tractor for their shade, and get the dogs taken care of. Bottle calves, you know, first time ever having bottle calves. They're cute, they're fun, they're demanding. We're starting to wean them off their milk replacer. Just got a little left, so we're starting to slow everything down. But they tend to be a little demanding sometimes. Kind of bullying me a little bit. Got to put the dog's food up from last night. So they're kind of like, hey, what are you going to give me? I'm not going to give you anything this morning. But they're doing a good job. They're eating plenty of grass and looking healthy. And what you think, Bree? What you think, Bree? So 3 weeks. The rest of the sheep flock is coming. 1 year in, enjoy having the sheep. Had some problems with some of the lambs and honey, but do enjoy the sheep. So let's see if these guys will follow us to move. I think Mr. Ram's getting the hang of it. Come on, let's go. Now they're realizing they got some fresh grass over there. So after we lost those few lambs, boy, it's probably already been a month now, 45 days. We left Mr. Ram in. Hopefully these guys will cycle back and maybe we'll get a couple fall lambs out of them. But we'll need to separate him pretty quick once we get these new ewes here in 3 weeks. But yeah, the biggest thing today, get them out early, get these guys grazing, move their shade over here. Make sure they got plenty of water today, and we'll just got through this real hot day. Pretty humid right now, still about 85 degrees now. It's probably 7 o'clock here in the morning. I love checking out the new paddock and eating. So good job, Belle. Yeah, good job, girl. Okay, let's keep moving. And we just moved the cattle into this new area where we've got lots of tall forage and they've got great tree cover. So today it looks like it's going to be a lot like yesterday. We got a breeze this morning, nice cloud cover. Boy, it looks like it's going to rain, but we're not going to get anything out of it. It's just providing a little shade for the morning. But similar to yesterday, we were nice in the morning. Got to be about 12:30 and we were 82 degrees, and then by 4 o'clock we were at 100. So it really heated up in the afternoon. That's how today's going to be. So cloud cover, and we're going to hit about 105 now, it's saying, by late this afternoon. So cattle are getting filled up, and I'm sure they'll be shaded up this afternoon. We did have to get Diablo, our bull, up into the chute. Several months ago, he was having a hard time with some lung issues. I think he must have had pneumonia real bad at some point, and the vet thinks he has some scar tissue on his lungs, so when there's change in the weather, he has a hard time breathing. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. He wasn't eating very well. He was sunken in, and the biggest issue is he hasn't been breeding. I know we at least had one heifer that was in heat their day, and the steers were riding her, and he had no interest in doing anything. So, and my vet said that, you know, when he's having a hard time breathing, he's not going to want to eat, he's not going to want to breed, he's not going to want to do much. So I'm not sure what we're going to have to do. So I'm pretty discouraged with that. So going to have to kind of see, but we gave him a steroid shot and a stronger antibiotic, so that's supposed to relieve it. And this morning he is eating, so that's a positive, but just always kind of certain issues. I was trying to zoom in here, but on him, but can't get it to zoom exactly. So far this morning, everyone's eating, cool enough. So we'll check back in later. 11:30, back over here at the Carter James. Cloud cover starting to burn off. It's getting hot, 87 degrees now. Hey, yesterday we started working on a project here at the ranch. There was a white picket fence right out in front. Looked good from far, but it was far from good. Starting to break apart, so we took it all out. So now this is totally open here. So kind of a tough decision. Kind of liked the fence, kind of didn't like it. So we just took it out. I'm here every day. I've probably almost backed into it 4 times. So I'm always worried whenever we have someone new to the ranch. It's gonna be easy for them to back in as you're turning around on the driveway. But so yeah, look at all that. Opens it way up. So it'll be great for having events. You know, we can put a big tent in here, not have to worry about the fence getting in the way. So we're gonna go check on these south poles. We're walking out here in the back pasture right before we get to the herd down here. They're on this hill. Just wanted to show you how many tree shoots we got jumping up here. One thing that I'm doing this year is I'm not spraying the entire pasture. I know historically this ranch has been sprayed with chemical. We'll do some spot spraying when you get rid of some thistles, but I'm really trying to go through and cut these shoots out and treating the stumps so they don't grow back, as opposed to just cutting them with a bush hog and then mass spraying the entire field. Really working on trying to get those honey locust trees out. Every time you cut those and don't treat the stumps, they come back with a vengeance with multiple shoots. So here's the South Pole herd down here, chilling in the shade, about 11:30. Still got some good grass here on the hillside. We're going to be moving around to the back side of the pond in the next couple days. Just always like to run down and check on everybody. And you know, this isn't everybody, and I'm wondering if some of them are up in the stable. Some tend to be out. I don't see Comanche, so he might be up in the stable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is about half of them. So we'll go check on them and see if we can find them in the stable. Back up the stable, they're all starting to make me a little nervous. I couldn't find them, but I hollered at them and they kind of came walking out of the stable. So they are taking a little reprieve from the heat. So getting their waters filled up. They have access to shade, just making sure they can have plenty of moisture this morning, as it's going to get pretty intense here in the next couple hours. So, but everyone seems to be doing okay. We'll walk in here and double check, make sure Comanche's in there. She's a little squirrely. There's Pepe. He's Comanche's buddy, so I bet you Comanche's hanging out in here. They're calling to the rest of the herd. There's our ghost eye. Comanche, you in here? Who's all in here? There's Comanche. Hey dude, how you doing? Alright, just want to make sure you guys are good. Alright, so just leaving the ranch. Glad all the South Poles are doing well. I like checking on the different herds and the bulls specifically as it relates to breeding. Since this is my first year going through the breeding process, I like to observe who's coming in heat, who's not, just so I can see if they're getting bred on the first go around or second go around. You know, especially with Comanche, he's a virgin bull, so he's just turning a year old. Not sure if he'll be able to cover everybody in 1 or 2 cycles, but that's why I want to be checking on him. So Diablo, obviously we're having this kind of a lung issue with him, and so I like observing them too to see who's coming in heat. You're not always going to see your animals breeding. Sometimes I might do it at night, but it's always good to monitor the heifers to see who's coming into heat and who's not. So that'll give you a real good indication. So, and for me, not knowing what I don't know, I'm just wanting to make sure that I am tracking it. So far, happy with Comanche's activity. And again, like I mentioned earlier, Diablo's starting to eat again today, and hopefully he can kind of get back to breeding. But as far as like what we'll do with him, I don't know. It's really disappointing. He is a beautiful animal. I had him up in the chute yesterday, and it looks like he's just wearing plastic for skin. I mean, his hide is just so beautiful. He's slicked off. He's a really calm bull, but if he can't breed because of this lung issue, if he doesn't get the job done, I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I might have to go get some samples of him. Sorry, my seatbelt's beeping at me. We may have to go get some semen drawn from him, and who knows, we may have to go down a path that I really don't want to go with him if he's not able to breed. But we'll just gotta kind of take it one day at a time and see what he does. So we'll see. Stay tuned. All right, 2 o'clock. I'm heading out to check on everybody. We got full sun, 94 degrees. Air's pretty thick. We're still supposed to get about another 10 more degrees. So here's Coda. Let me flip you around. Hey Coda, you doing okay? Okay, fence is off. So I was actually just gonna bring out a bucket of ice, put in their water. Coda, you doing okay? You doing okay, big boy? I know it's awful. I'm sorry. See the South Poles? There's Bale and one of the sheep. So we got a lot of water over here for them, but we got a smaller bucket right here that I'm gonna pour out, fill up. And I want to dump a bunch of that ice in there just to try to make it a little bit cooler, just so that they could if they're drinking on that, it might be able to cool them off a little bit more. So it is getting real hot. Hey honey, let's go check on everybody though. I think everyone's doing good. These sheep, they really take care of plants that the cattle don't eat. They really knock them back. I'm looking forward to getting a few more in the flock here next month so we can have a better impact. So we'll leave this here. Let's see here. Honey, you don't want to drink that? It's nice and cool. Nice and cool, girl. She don't like getting wet. Honey, come here. Come here. All right, she'll drink it if she wants it. But yeah, look at those ice cubes. They're already disappearing. It's so dang hot. So we'll go check on the broilers too. Need to double check their water. I'm sorry, it's hot. I know, girl. I know. The Coda's gonna drink it. Good boy, Coda. The cool water's got to feel good. They got plenty of it, but I'm sure that water is warm. You can just see how dusty it is from the road. It's supposed to get rain here in 2 days. Mr. Ram, you okay? Hanging with his head down. I don't like that look. You okay? You alright, dude? Okay, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. Yeah, it's much cooler. You walk underneath this shade sail, it gets 5 to 10 degrees cooler. Hey, Belle. Hey, Belle, I know. I'm sorry. It's warm. It's warm. You alright, Mr. Ram? Alright, let's go check on those broilers. Alright, we're going to come check on these guys. I'm guessing they're going to want some food. Obviously, this little dude wants something. They got plenty of water. They're all hot, that's for sure. So, I'll grab this bucket and get them a little more food. But they got shade, but man, they're going to have a rough couple hours here just because their body temperatures run so warm. So hopefully we don't lose anybody with the heat stress. But all we can do is give them water and plenty of shade. So we'll see. All right, we'll check on them here in a little bit. Out checking on the cattle at the hottest part of the day for sure. It's right after 4 o'clock here, and they came up to get a drink. And there's Diablo right there in the middle of our screen. Still looks a little sunk in, but he's eating a little bit, so obviously the injection we gave him yesterday is probably making him feel a little bit better. So if they're all out in the sun grazing away, getting an afternoon bite. So hopefully here we'll have a few more hours of heat. That's interesting. Sweets was kind of doing a curling the lips like what Diablo does. So real curious if Diablo's going to be running around sniffing some of these females. Want to be watching to see if he's chasing anybody around that comes into heat, because obviously we're right in the breeding window here, and we need him to be on his game. So, but everyone seems to be doing great with the water, or with the heat. I mean, they just drank down a ton of water, went and refilled their waters up. Never worry about these south poles. This is a steer here. We'll need to run over to the ranch and check on the other south pole herd, but always just am curious how the black-hided animals will do in the heat. But they're doing great. This paddock, they've got unbelievable shade, so far we're looking good. Everyone's handling the heat really well. Running back over to check on the South Pole herd. A little after 6 o'clock. Still about up mid-90s, but boy, you can really feel the difference between what it was earlier. Maxed out at 102 degrees today with the real feel at 110. So that was hot. And now we're just mid-90s, and boy, it's still warm, but what a difference. So running over to see them here. They've kind of crossed over to an area that they have access to, but I don't really like them to come to. So let me flip you around and show you what we're dealing with here. So I typically have this hot wire up, so when they're on this back side of the pond, they don't go into the pond. But I did give them access over there and didn't rope off the little creek, so they actually crossed it, but it's probably doesn't even have water in it now. So they're kind of halts along here, and hopefully they'll wander back over there and get up to where those other ones are across the creek, or across the pond. Everything's getting real low with no rain, but so obviously these guys are doing well. I always like to see where Comanche is. Comanche's right over here. Comanche, what you doing? Almost like he's half laying down. I can only see his butt hanging up there. Oh, he's sniffing. He's sniffing on this gal right here. So, hey dude. Doing alright, man? Okay, everyone seems like they're doing a-okay. So, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming along today on a hot day here in Kansas. So, God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.